Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, and it's evening instead of morning. So glad to be here, and I'm hoping that the message that I share with you has some purpose and service as far as you are concerned. You know, every time I go shopping or just walking around, say at a mall, uh, some strip mall, I'm watching the people. I go into places like Target, and I'm looking at the cashiers. I'm looking at the stock people. I'm looking at the salespeople. I go into places like Walmart, same thing. Costco, same thing. J.C. Penney, same thing. Macy's, same thing. It's like everywhere you go, it's the same thing. If you're a roofer doing roofs, well, in that particular business, you're looking for cheap labor, depending upon what you're doing. If it requires expertise, skyscrapers, whatever, you're going to get what is qualified. But even then, you want to pay the least amount. And if it's down the scale, you want to go and get the Mexicans, because they will do a little bit good work for a little less price. And so that's how that ball bounces. But I mention this because I want all of the people who call themselves regular employees. You don't consider yourself just professional. Some of you are, but most of you don't. You just consider yourself got a job. And most of your jobs pay somewhere between, let's say, $12 and $16 an hour. Some go a little bit more than that. These are just what you call these kind of workers that I just mentioned. These are not the people that's up the ladder employees per se. These, I can see them at Subway. I can even see them in some of the stores doing the toilets and things like this. I'm talking about you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about my average Joe Blow brothers and sisters out there trying to make it, trying to survive. I got this message for you. Now, you know what your particular situations are. I know generally what they are, but you know what your particular situations are. But here's the message that I bring to you is that it is not designed to be that way. It is that way because you have been deceived. Now, when I say you have been deceived, I know you don't believe that. So what I'm going to do is try to give you an example. Now, in America, we have this political thing going on. You got people who following and believing everything that Donald Trump says, the ex-president, number 45 of the United States of America. There are a group of people that's following everything that he says. Now, there are another group of people who doesn't listen to anything as being real or authentic that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. And when they look at the people that do listen to the trash that they say comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, they say these people got to be blind. They got to be either blind or ignorant, stupid, and crazy. That's what it said about them. That's how they evaluate that situation. Now, when the message comes to the general public, to all Americans per se, that you are just as blind and just as blind, or I don't want to say you're ignorant and stupid, but you're either blind or ignorant and stupid. Now, which one? I don't know. As the people that you say that are listening to Donald Trump. Now, I know you don't believe it. You don't believe that. Donald Trump folks don't believe. Donald Trump folks don't believe that he's lying. And you don't believe I'm telling the truth. Man, it's amazing how the world is. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Now, Donald Trump has nothing to offer those people that's believing in everything that he says. He has nothing to offer them. You know he doesn't. Now, you who are doing what you're doing, you know that you're shortcoming, half-stepping. You know you're not going to meet the mark. So you say, I help more than what they were going to do. So well, so what? Ask those guys that are being left out through your programs if there's any difference between you and Donald Trump. And they will say none. So the truth of the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually telling you the truth, that there is a God that planned a different plan. And it's not like this. This is all you following some crazy stuff. You following people just because God is invisible. Just because you can't see God, you can't touch God. You can't. So people say, well, if it's that like that, then I might as well get on the throne. So all over the globe, you got people getting on the throne trying to play God. Some of them dictators, authoritarians, you know. Some of them are presidents. Let's not go too far from there. Some of them are prime ministers. They used to be kings and queens and pharaohs and Sadducees, etc., etc. I don't know about the Sadducees, with the Caesars. And now they're here. Everybody trying to sit on the throne. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's that same old deceptive lie. What you see in Donald Trump's followers, the whole world is following the same kind of deception. It's a little different. It's the same kind of deception. It's evidence. It's the pain. It's the suffering that people go through. It's the challenges that you go through. But this message that I bring to you is that there is a God. There really is a God. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, there really is a God. Is responsible for all the earth. Somebody said responsible for everything. And yes, I'm agreeing with that as far as I can see and know. And that includes you and I. And you know that a human being is something to behold. I'm really telling you. Now, that God planned that you, for instance, let me tell you, give you some specifics. That God planned that when you come to this earth, that each of you, when you reach your maturity, would have a desire, or give something that you would love to do. And in doing it, it will give you your greatest joy. I mean, it would be like, you know, people say, I play basketball. Woo, I love playing basketball. And I'm getting paid. I'm doing this, and I love it. And I'm getting paid. You know how that story goes. Well, it'll be like you. Every last human being on the face of the earth will be loving what you do. And you'll be saying, I'm loving what I'm doing. And every last one of you will be saying, I'm getting paid. And every last one of you will say that your number one payment is that you're doing exactly what you want to do. That's the number one payment that you as an individual will get. But the way the master got it hooked up is while you are doing your thing and having your greatest joy, it's so interconnected with what everybody else is doing that the reservoir of goods and services will overflow and be with such an abundance that there would be no one that would be absent food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, and any other thing, infrastructure, any other thing that your mind can imagine. In other words, I really want you to know that when the computer came to, the information came to humankind, it came to humankind for all humankind to use. Who wants to use it? Now, you don't have to use it, but if you want to use it, it came for you. That was a gift from God through some people that was supposed to come on this earth for you. The same thing with this Apple telephone, all these telephones and everything. These are gifts from God, the invisible God. These are gifts, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you. These are gifts from the invisible God through humankind that's using the resources of the earth that God has given and using the skills and talents of individual people who work in the process of creating these things. That's God's design plan, that when those phones, anybody that want them, need them, desire them, whatever, got access to them. But now you notice I said God planned that you have access to it. But these powers that's sitting on the thrones that want to be God have set up another plan, and that plan allows them to be on top. That plan feeds into what they have established in their fakedom money. So all of a sudden, all of this stuff, all these resources that comes from God, are from God. All the natural resources, you know what they are. Straight up from God. But now somebody else's name is on them, claiming them. People invest in the process, getting kickback. Everybody getting paid. Not everybody, but a lot of people getting paid. So they shut up. Because why? They getting money. This is what's really part of pushing that lie. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you who are in the stock, on those shelves, putting food up on the shelves, you who are working in those cash registers, you who that are at service station wiping people's windows off or putting their hair in their ties, you, my friends, who are in there cleaning out the toilets where other people are going doing their shopping, every last one of you are entitled to anything in life that exists at the hands of man that you want, need, or desire. That is what God has designed for you. Now, what I'm saying to you is this. All of the stuff that's on this earth right now, that's sitting out there waiting for you to come buy, for you to come purchase it. Everything that's out there, really, according to God's plan. I'm not talking about according to America's plan, because according to America's plan, according to America's plan, what I'm telling you is a bald-faced lie. But what I'm really telling you is the truth. All that stuff belonged to you. It was the resources that are used to make the cost came from God. The labor that was used that in the process to cause these things to exist, those human beings, God's people, working, creating for you, the people who want to drive. But man says, oh no, God can't work that thing like this. I got to run this, so you got to pay. You got to pay some payola. See? We know what you call that? You call that's what the mob does. You got to pay. That's what the gangbangers do. You got to pay. You know, you got your business on the street, they come down the street, talk about, holy bro, you got to pay or we poop in your head. Well, that's the way the system is. You got to pay. Why? Somebody got to get paid. And so, in this process, you got poverty, you got crime, you got violence, you got Congress up there making rules and regulations and laws that saying heaven is too expensive, we can't afford that. But they're getting everything that they're supposed to get. In certain groups that's special in the order of things, get access to whatever it wants. Well, now, I'm not saying it shouldn't. That's the system that we live in. And that's the way the system operates. I'm saying to you that in the system that's operating this way, and in the systems of the world that's operating wherever they are, people are being messed over. People are being exploited. People are being abused according to God's plan. Now, I'm telling you according to God's plan. That means that all of you are blessed. The ones that's messing over you today are blessed as well. God's not trying to put them in jail. Just not going to allow them, because you have now woke up and you're not going to listen to their abuse. If these guys up there tell Donald Trump, wake up and tell Donald Trump, hold it, bro. We realize you telling a lie. Donald Trump power gone, just like that. All they got to do is tell him, we waking up, you have been lying to us, and his power is gone, just like that. All you got to do is wake up and tell the systems world that, hey, you have awakened, and you ain't listening to it no more, and their power is gone just like that. But you just can't do that. You got to have a replacement. And that replacement got to be so beautiful that all of the people mandate it. And so now what they're going to do? They know who they're going to kill. You, the people, have made a decision. So their power is over. The systems are set up in place to operate the way they're supposed to, for the most part. They're set up to operate the way they're supposed to, for the most part, except how resources are made available, as I've described it here. Well, I really didn't want to talk to you this long. It just got good to me. I think some of you are really listening, and I want to really, really let you know I appreciate that. And for those of you who are at the bottom of the totem pole, know that you are there because you're being robbed. So don't you be thinking that you're stupid. Don't be thinking that you're ignorant. Don't be thinking that you're not smart. You might not even have a college education. It doesn't make any difference. If you're doing what you want to do, you're right on top of it. If you're not doing what you want to do, you're being had twice. And if you're doing what you want to do, I know you're not getting what you want out of it, so you're being had just over and over and over again. So that is why I'm bringing you this message, so you can have something to compare your life with today with what it can be, not just what you're hoping for, but to have someone to come by and tell you that it is guaranteed that the moment you decide to wake up, it's over and that it begins. So I want to leave it there for now. If you got any questions, please pick up your telephone and dial 6345789. That's my number. No, you don't. That's some song Wilson Pickett put out a long time ago in the 60s. I just thought I'd throw that in for the teaser. So until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.